and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Yo, we're back for another stream. Good to be back. Hope you guys are doing well. Man, interesting day in the market today. It's been a pretty banger week so far. I mean, we had a lot of things running earlier this week. I think markets are kind of cooling off a little bit. Meanwhile, we have the S&P 500 hitting new all-time highs. Let's take a look at that real quick. Bam, look at that candle. Let's look at that on the weekly. We see the S&P is hitting new all-time highs as we speak. They heard, stock markets heard MCG was going live, so they wanted to go ahead and hit some new all-time highs for us. So good to be back. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, let's do a few things here. First off, let's get the show comments on stream so that way I can see when you guys comment something. Another day I'll be by myself. I'll be doing some engineering in the background here. So just a little bit of a heads up for you guys. We'll get into charts, tickers, on-chain, breaking news, macro, the whole bit. You guys kind of know what we do already. So we'll dive into this stuff here in just a moment. Let me do this as well. I don't know about you guys. Yesterday I did some background music. I really like the vibe, really like the vibes. Very low volume, just a little something for us to kind of groove to just a little bit. Just have some vibes in the background. Let's see here. Yeah, let's do Let's do this. Yeah, yeah. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, guys. Again, welcome to MCG Trader Radio here. It's Friday, May 8th, 12:30, 8 p.m. EST. Look, we got a lot happening here, so let's run through the show. It might be a shorter show today. There's not too many crazy things going on in markets right now. It's not there. This week was a pretty big week, but today specifically, not a crazy amount. But we still have some things that we can go through. So let's start. So here's how the show is going to go. So we'll start high time frame, right? We'll start on the charts. We'll start with some breaking news. We'll start with macro Bitcoin majors, and then we'll go into some on-chain tickers, some projects that I'm looking at. You guys know I've been trading a lot of meme coins recently, so we'll look at some of that. In fact, some of the setups that we've had have been doing pretty well. They've been aging pretty well here. So just some stuff here I wanted to go through. All right, cool. So now that you have the show outline. All right, let's put up Bitcoin here. And let me clean up my chart for you guys a little bit. Let's take that off. Actually, let's do that. Perfect. Let's take that off. So I want to show you guys a nice clean chart. Try to keep my charts as simple as I can anyway. All right, cool. So Bitcoin running into this resistance, and we actually see, we talked about this because I pointed out, you see the 2-week FVG here. I pointed that out on the monthly. That's where I said, hey, look, pretty high time frame, very key level. We want to be, aware of that. And we don't want to increase risk and increase leverage going into resistance. I would much rather, take some choice bets and everything, but ultimately with where we are on a high time frame, just kind of be careful. We also see that here, Killa XBT, we know that he's been tracking this, the fifth pivot is what he calls it. But basically on the 5th of the month, there's a pivot where, the market starts going in the opposite direction. And so we've seen that play out here on April 5th. We were kind of in a downtrend going into the 5th. We pivot going into an uptrend. Same thing, on the 5th of March, we were kind of in an uptrend and we went down for a few weeks after that. Same thing in the local bottom in February. We went, into a bottom. We're going into a downtrend, and then we started going up. So yeah, I mean, look, let's see what happens. You guys kind of know where I stand with a lot of the Bitcoin price action. So not a lot to say, but just some meaningful things to make mention of. Also, I don't know if you guys follow the homie Rect Capital. Very, very nice account. He was actually pretty spot on calling the bull market progression, right? So really nice. Basically, he kind of outlines, he uses a lot more of like EMAs and stuff like that in his analysis. But overall, really great analysis. A different view from my own, ultimately coming to the same conclusion, but just from a different perspective. Here's what he has to say. Bitcoin continues to spend time between these two macro EMAs. Bitcoin indeed produced a relief rally from the 50 EMA to the 21-month EMA, which is where price could be falling short. If history repeats, Bitcoin could reject from here to then break down from the purple month EMA into additional bearish acceleration over time. So, basically he kind of points out that we're in a very key spot, a spot that we've been in, several cycles before. And, this is kind of where we would see a much larger breakdown. Some people could argue that we've already seen that breakdown, but the breakdown just wasn't as exaggerated as it's been. But either way, we see that we're running into resistance. We're running into the 21-month EMA, that's resistance. We're running into 80K, that's resistance. We're running into the fair value gap, that's resistance. So we're running into a lot of resistance on a high time frame. And so again, the likelihood is that we at least pull back somewhat from these levels. So just something to be aware of. Last thing on Bitcoin here is this chart pointed out by Killa XBT, and I also kind of have a similar thesis here. He says, looking at past BTC cycles, the data shows without my bias that each bear market has typically lasted around 300 to 400 days. We are on day 212. That implies there's still a window of time left for accumulation. Again, based purely on historical data. And you guys have heard me say this not once, not twice, but hundreds of times at this point. Ever since our February low, I'm like, man, this is going to range. We're going to form a range here. There's no doubt about it. We're going to chop around. So let's look at some lower time frames, maybe the weekly here. But we formed this bottom and we've yet to retest it. I would actually love to see us come back down to retest the bottom. I mean, let's really quick look at some price action that got retested. We even see this candle over here. That was that candle, that was a minus 20% candle in 1 week, right? And we basically got the same thing, almost the same thing recently in that February low. We had a minus 24%, almost 25% candle. And here we actually breached those lows. We breached this low a little bit here, or at the very least, we retested it, and then we started to run. So I would love to see us do the same thing over here, right? Retest the low, and then we go for higher. But I'm curious. I want to see what that's looked like in past cycles. Yeah, I mean, look, even in 2021, I'm not sure what this candle is. I don't think it's like minus 20%, probably 15. Oh shoot, that's a minus 33% candle. Holy crap, really? Hold on, am I looking at that right? Let's see, minus 33% candle. Wow. Okay. Do you plan to stack majors in the summer? Absolutely. I'll be stacking a lot of Met, especially in the summer. I think that'll probably be one of my kind of bigger bags. But other than that, like, I'm mostly going to be trading majors on perps. I think what I'll be accumulating a lot of is on chain. And maybe we go through some of that today. Maybe we go through the plan for the summer. But look, we had this minus 34% candle in 1 week. We did rally up, but then we came back down to retest it. Right? We came back down to retest the lows before going higher. And so I don't see why things should be different this time around. Because as you can see here, we've retested the low here, we've retested the low here, and we haven't retested this low just yet. But after big moves to the downside, we typically get a retest of that level. So that's just kind of going along with what we've seen here in markets historically. So that's the positioning on Bitcoin, and I'm probably looking for I'm going to be looking for a short if I can get one. I want to be shorting from up here. So I would love to see us perhaps let's look on the 12-hour. I would love to see us kind of pump to retest the high, maybe retest get a sweep to trap some late longs, bang, and then look to short somewhere here. That could be how this plays out. Could get a rally going into into the weekend, or a rally on the weekend, for a fake out. So let's see how this plays out. But I'll be looking for some, I would love like a liquidity sweep, like an SFP or a breaking close or something like that. So that way I can kind of confirm my risk and my invalidation on a trade like that. So that's what I'm looking for on BTC. That's what we're getting here. Looking nice. It's going according to plan. So we run it up. We enjoy the green candles. We take profits here on the way up. And so when we do, since we are expecting that downside, those profits will then come back into play, at these levels, here, right? These levels here, going into the green box as well. So that's what's happening. Awesome. So that's macro. Still have some time here before we're actually done with this full on bear market. And that's just going purely based on historical data. All right. So let's take a look at some things here. Let's go to some breaking news. I don't know if you guys saw this, but yesterday Coinbase literally went down for 2 hours, or for a couple hours. I think this went on a lot longer than this post, but this was just like last night, just 12 hours ago, which is insane. I don't know why they went down, or if it was because of is it users or what have you, but that's something to take a look at there. We also see that on top of that, Coinbase's revenue fell 40% year over year. And maybe I zoom this in so you guys can actually see it properly. But yeah, I mean, Coinbase transaction revenue falls 40% year over year. So I think it really just goes to show the state of on-chain right now, the state of on-chain and the state of trading within this market. Not a lot of people want to trade in this market right now. It's unfortunate, but it is true. It is true. Let's look at some majors real quick. Let's see if there's anything else that we should be looking at. Boom. Let's look. Let's go to the week. All right. There we go. All right, so let's go to some other majors. Let me see. Boom. Let's look at ETH. ETH actually rejecting as well off of that 2-week fair value gap that we mentioned. Rejecting off that there. Let's look at Solana. Solana looks so good. Oh my goodness. Solana looks absolutely ready to freaking rocket. Hold on. Let's just take all the lines away for a second. Let's look at this. Solana looks ready, guys. Solana literally looks ready. Coinbase stock hasn't moved a bit though. Yeah, no, their stock. I think. Look, I think from a stock perspective, maybe let's look at the circle, or not the circle, the coin chart. Let's pull that up real quick. Imagine that we're in crypto, but we're looking at stocks. I guess that's the state of things, right? All right, let's look at coin. Pull that into my stocks. Because I want to say I looked at coin before. Let's go to a high time frame, 2-week. Because honestly, I think Coinbase's the coin stock is probably one of the better bets that you can make here. If you're trading stocks, that is, and looking for crypto exposure, I think this is where you do it. Awesome. Yeah. So I actually charted this out, and it looks like we broke out of this weekly downtrend coming into this level of support. And let me mark this out real quick. We got a key swing low. We got a recent swing high. We can even put the recent swing high here. This is probably the more obvious swing high. Yeah, like this looks fantastic. Let's look at a lower time frame real quick. Let's see. Yeah, this looks fantastic. Look at that breakout. Not the cleanest retest. I mean, maybe you can say we can try to chart our bias out here and say that's a retest right there. But yeah, basically a breakout retest. Breakout retest right there. Bang. And looks like it's ready to keep going. So yeah, like I would say stocks to watch. I mean, look, I'm not a stock picker, so I'm not even gonna act like I have alpha on the stock market. But overall, coin circle is obviously gonna do really well. This was another one that we charted out on stream a couple weeks ago. Again, another breakout of a downtrend, and it looks like it's ready to continue higher. Robinhood is another big one. Robinhood. And this is actually coming to a key level here. And I'm debating this. I really am, but I want to start trading. I want to start perps trading these stocks, man. I mean, dude, they just follow the levels so decently, bro. It's insane. All right, so we got a key swing low, we got a key swing high, and then there's our support level there in green. And it looks like we're ready to go again. Looks like we're ready to go again, fellas. Yeah, but coin, circle, hood, and then also Nvidia. Those are the three like that I would say I'm really bullish on. And as you can see, we charted out the 1 week OB on this, and I literally called this on stream as well. When we were looking at stocks a few months ago on stream is when I charted this out, and basically it just literally this level holds so well. Interested to see if the top part of this range holds too. Let's see if that acts as resistance, but looking good. MicroStrategy. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, MicroStrategy as well. We charted that one out, and it touched a key zone that it came back to here. Good proxy for Bitcoin, but I'm not really sure about MicroStrategy because I saw that Michael Saylor was thinking about selling Bitcoin. And I'm not, whether he sells Bitcoin or not. That's not what I'm focused on with him. What I'm worried about is he needs a certain amount of Bitcoin returns annually in order to fund the yield that he gives out, right? So that's the part for me that gets, it's a little questionable, if you ask me. It's a little bit questionable. And so that's where I just kind of pause with MicroStrategy. I'm sure it'll do well up until, like, if it does blow up, which that's the direction I think it'll head in. If you need Bitcoin to go up a certain amount of times, or you need Bitcoin to go up a certain percentage per year in order to provide yield to the people that provided you with funding, and to pay out creditors and stuff. Bitcoin is very known for, its volatility. So that means it goes up a lot, but it also goes down a lot as well. And if your business is based off the gains that you get on Bitcoin, you could find yourself in a tricky situation. Buying throughout the bull and selling in the bear doesn't seem like a smart move by Saylor. Yeah, literally, you've been buying the Pico top of like literally every move. And one sec, guys, 1 sec. I'm gonna put the desk down real quick and sit down. Ugh. All right, the desk is down. But yes, you're right, Crypto Jones. Buying throughout the bull and selling in the bear definitely isn't the best, at least not the best way to set up your Bitcoin strategy, right? Like, I get a lot of people were bullish, that Bitcoin were, a lot of people had the $150,000 price prediction. They had the $200,000 price prediction. So, maybe in Sailor's mind, he wasn't buying the top. Maybe he was, really counting on a much larger move for Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin actually decides to go higher here, that could that can do him some good. That could do him some good. But I doubt it. I doubt it. I think we go. I think we revisit the green box still. But that's the stock market. All right, majors. Farcoin holding gains really well. Let's look at this on the daily. Boom. Boom. All right, cool. So here's the Farcoin chart. I'm looking at this chart right now. It looks strong. If we take all the lines away for a second, that actually looks like it's headed a lot higher. I'm thinking I'm going to stack Bitcoin using Meteora DLMM. Interesting strategy. How are you going to do that? What are you just going to, how are you just using your profits to buy Bitcoin? And are you DLMMing majors to manage your downside risk? Let me know. But yeah, Farcoin looks absolutely amazing here. It looks like it's, again, I do want to see this pull back to this region here before and try to look for a setup here. We've tested this as resistance at this level. We've seen it resistance at this level, resistance here. So I want to see this now being tested as support. And maybe it doesn't do it here, right? Maybe it doesn't do it here. Maybe it goes up again, bang, goes up again, bang, and then kind of comes back down before it goes up. So maybe we do see this kind of bull flag action where it goes deeper into this zone, this larger time frame OB. But either way, a retest of that area. That's what I'm looking for. A retest of that 22 cent level. And I'm assuming we go a little bit under 2 cents. I'd love to see some sort of liquidity sweep there. But ideally, probably a lot of liquidity at this level here. Probably at this level here, this 20-hour or 20-hour, the 12-hour swing low here. Not sure if that's the right level for a swing low though. This is like the higher time frame swing low at 13 cents, and then the higher time frame swing high at 47. But the range within that range is what I was looking to try to map out, and that's either here at 15 or here at 18. And I'd say 18. I'd say 18 cents for the recent swing low. Maybe even my swing high needs to be reset to here. Could even be something like that. And 7 hours until that close. But yeah, anywho, let's look at real quick. Is there a lot of liquidity on the open liquidity heat map? Yeah, see? There's a lot of liquidity down here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of goes up into this zone and then bang, comes down, grabs at all that liquidity before eventually going back up. I wouldn't be surprised to see us retest this area. But what I would be looking for again is that SFP, a bounce off of a key zone or something like that. So, but yeah, there's a lot of liquidity down here, resting around 20 cents, and the POC, the liquidity magnet on this is around 20 cents as well. So just something to be aware of. Not saying it can't pump from here. It you know, again, with these magnets, it typically moves in the opposite direction first to trap longs and then reverse. So yeah, keep that in mind. Fart coin looks good. Met. Maybe this is where we talk about what we'll be accumulating over the summer, Crypto Jones. So I really love Met here. As far as like a, you know, a major. I really like Ton. I really like Ton as well. So maybe we'll see where some of these things, we'll see where Ton pulls back to, but really like Met to accumulate here. On chain bags though. On chain bags, I actually really like the MetaDAO ecosystem. Like right now, like I'm mostly like just actively trading the market. Like I'm not really like holding on to anything at the moment. It's mostly like, you know, DLMMing, trading, perps, doing some meme coins and stuff like that. But I really like the MetaDAO eco. I like Met, and because everything is built on top of it. What's your top 5 Solana ecosystem tokens to stack? That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. Let's think about that for a little bit. Yeah, let's think about that for a little bit, because I wouldn't even say like some of the top 5 tokens that I would buy right now, some of them aren't on Solana. All right, some of them are just kind of like, yeah, they're not all Solana tokens, because some of them, they're on Base. Base has like some pretty good tickers, right? Some pretty good tickers. Let's quickly look at, let's quickly skip and go out of order, and let's hunt down our top 5 right now that will accumulate over the summer. Let's see. All right, let's pop open Dex Screener. Let's pop open Dex Screener and let's take a look. Okay, I like Meta. I've always said this. I think they have the best crypto native solution when it comes to ownership. I think it's the best, most tasteful thing that we can do as a token holder. You have protections, you have rights. So I think Meta would be at the top of my list. I think I'll start with Meta. Okay. Let's look. What else do we have? I really like Umbra. I think it's one of the top kind of like privacy ownership tokens out there. But I think outside of like ZEC, Zcash, XMR, Railgun, some of those other privacy protocols, I think outside of those, like this is you know, the one protocol that's an actual product, right? With customers, not that, let me rephrase that. Umbra is it's a privacy product, and it's the only privacy ownership token. So I think ownership tokens will do well. I think MetaDAO will do well. And I think privacy is a huge narrative. And when you combine both of those things, you have Umbra. And I know they've been working on a lot of things lately as well. So I think I'll put Umbra on the list. So Meta and Umbra. All right, let's take a look. I gotta throw some base stuff in there. I have to. I'm sorry. I can't. When it comes to on-chain utility projects, you have to include something on base. You have to. So one of those will be Repo. Repo is looking absolutely fantastic. This is one that I keep track of in the 3-day high time frame, because it's not like really volatile. It doesn't like move up a lot during the day. It doesn't trade a lot during the day, but I will say this, man, this thing has a ton of upside. This thing has a ton of upside, in my opinion. So Repo would be the third for me. I think I kind of want to include Banker, but not really sure. So I'll leave Banker alone. LFI actually looks really good from a chart perspective. Looks really, really good. Let's see what else. Top five. Let's go to utility. Man, called this out just yesterday. Kodak was also kind of breaking out of a key range here, and it looks like it's continuing to do so. Another one that I'm monitoring on the 3-day. And let me do this. Let me put these there, and let's look at the lower time frames here and see what's been going on. Yeah, look at that, man. Look at that, man. Like, see, we broke above the range a little bit here, but this looks strong, boy. Very minimal dips, just straight upward price action. Cled, Crypto Jones. I personally, you know, I'm not a Cled bear, but just for this, like, I don't like Cled doesn't really like interest me like that. Is that a bad thing to say? Like Dom, oh my goodness, Dom is a Cled bull. He is a Cled bull. And I think Cled is a great project. I think Cled will do really well. Obviously Avi, he's a freaking Chad. He's done a lot to build his credibility within CT. He's gained a lot of respect, a lot of the trust of the community, and all of those things. And perhaps it does blinded by his payout. What are you talking about, bro? There is no payout. There's no payout. Dom literally has been DCAing Cled 4 months. Literally 4 months. So no, he's just a bull. He's literally just DCAing his bag. But I think it's not about Cled. Like if you guys follow Game for One or Game for Game, Game on CT, he actually made a really good point a few weeks back. Oh, his first Cled app beta payout. Oh, payout. Got you. I thought, okay, got you. I thought you're trying to come at my boy Dom. I'm like, yo, hold on. But yeah, no. I think Cled in that sense will do really well. Uploading your photos, getting paid for, giving your data and things of that nature. I'm just concerned about the token structure, right? We've seen a lot of questions, and this isn't just Cled. This is just in general. I even talked about it a little bit just the other day. And that's why I've been saying, like, I kind of like memes a little bit more, because it's all about who's buying. It's, Game mentioned something. He said there are good projects, but not all of them have good tokens. So everything could be fundamentally right with the project, but will that convert buyers? Will that convert speculators into buyers? And I'm not sure why, because I need to see the proof of concept for those equity backed tokens, because there is a way of valuing them, right? And Dom talks about this a lot, like based on revenue, based on how much equity that's backing the token. Like you can justify a certain amount of price, a certain price. Now, here's the thing. I don't see the market actually doing that. Like they're not like actually taking into consideration. Maybe eventually we'll have, we talked about yesterday how the stock market and TradFi firms, they're enabling crypto trading for a lot of their users. So maybe when those types of users come over to our market, maybe they come in and they say, hey, look, I don't like those meme coins. They go up and down a little too much for me. But what I do like are these equity backed tokens. They understand it more. Like maybe we see a bidding of these assets when those when those guys hit the market. But I just don't know, number one, what the structure will be, right? We've been waiting a long time for the structure, so I need to still wait to confirm that the structure that they come up with is something that I think will do well. That's number one. And then number two, you know, I'm not sure who's going to buy. I'm not sure who's going to buy. You know, there's a, but I will say this though, there is a great community around CLED. There's a great project in CLED, a great founder as well. So there's a lot of good things that CLED has going for it. But what I'm saying is, it's not something I'm going to accumulate over the summer. I'm not bearish on CLED. It's just not something I'm going to accumulate in the summertime. Maybe at some point, whether it's later this year, early next year, or what have you, you know, maybe at that point it makes more sense because maybe the price starts to move, or the token structure has come out or has been approved by the SEC or by whoever. Like I need to see a proof of concept is what I'm saying. I need to see a proof of concept, and that's for everything right now. Crypto Jones, that's for everything. For ICM, I need to see a proof of concept again. I need to see a proof of concept before I am bullish on the sector and like actively trade it again. Like I need to see volumes. I need to see gains. I need to see, you know, good charts. Like that's what I need to see, traders coming in and being interested in these markets. But we've seen so many people try. We've seen so many different launch pads, Believe, Heavendex, all the others that have come and gone over the past, you know, 12 months or so, maybe even like 16 months. But there's a lot of people that have attempted, you know, being a launch pad, but with, you know, these equity backed tokens or equity anchored, however you want to call it. You know, there's an additional layer there that you have to, a few extra layers that you have to work past. Like you have to educate people on what is equity backed, right? Like a lot of people are new to the concept. So you have to educate them on what that is. The other thing is, you also have to attract traders, and traders, to the quickest way to attract them usually is through gains, is through price action, is through up only conditions. And there's no way you can manufacture that. And I'll say this, Printer was a good example. You know, like the Belief token came out that it was bundled. You know, I've often said, you guys have heard me say this time and time again, it's not a bad token just because it's bundled. It's all about who is bundling it and what's their end goal. A lot of times it's just very hard to see what that end goal is. And so a lot of people just assume a bundle is bad and they you know, leave. But the point is, you cannot manufacture gains. You cannot manufacture a good ecosystem. Sure, you can crime a coin or two to kind of goad traders or trick traders into coming in. Printer has closed their points token. How much do you have? They've closed their, like, the airdrop farming is done. Is that what you think? Bro, what you think of the big cap alts pumping? Satria Pamudiji. Hopefully I said that right. Pamudiji. So let's take these one by one. Let's take these one by one. First, let me just finish off by saying you cannot manufacture gains. Printer tried to do that with Belief. Other tokens have tried to do, like, you know, Bonk tried to do it with Useless. Jupiter tried to do it with Uranus. They you know, people have tried. The thing is, criming doesn't work. You know what works? Legitimate community pumping. And I think that's what gave Pump Fund their clout at first. But then, you know, it kind of turned into this serial deployer pump and dump fest in their ecosystem. But they did start out with genuine community hype, genuine pumps, and you just can't manufacture that. So that's why I'm kind of like bearish on this ownership sort of sector. You know, like or not bearish, but like I'm just in waiting. I'm not bidding anything over the summer. The only thing I'll buy is Meta DAO, and that's it. So yeah, Printer closed their point system. Does that mean they're done with airdrop farming? Like, is that what you mean? Because I don't know how much points I have. Like, I would have to check. And the last time I checked, I didn't realize this, but you can't airdrop farm by trading on a terminal. You have to airdrop farm like trading on the actual platform, which I did not realize. I thought you could earn points through trading on the terminal. That's the whole reason why I was doing that as well. All right, let's go to Printer. Let's go to Printer and see what's up. Let's see what's up. Printer, see what their recent announcements are. Let's see. I don't see anything about points. Oh, wait, here it is. Interesting. Okay, so here's the recent announcement. Points update. Snapshot was taken May 1st. Every trade and stake up to that point is recorded. Tracking on the dashboard has been paused for now while we prep for the next phase. More campaigns coming soon. Interesting. Cool. So looks like we have a little something coming here. I'm interested to see what I ended up with. I'll go and check that out a little bit later. Pamadiji 1428. Bro, what do you think about big cap alts pumping? Yes. Let's add a few things to the watch list on the because we never closed out our big cap segment there. Let's do Ondo. Let's do Ondo. Let's do Binance Perps. Let's put that on the top of the watch list there because I saw that was pumping earlier. Let's see, Pendle VVV, yeah, bro. VVV is going crazy right now. Boom, holy moly. I told you guys, vertical accumulation. Breakout, vertical accumulation. Holy moly, look at that thing. That looks amazing. That looks amazing right there. Let's see. What else you got other than, oh yeah, and Ton also. I think we might have touched on Ton yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we did. But Ton also went absolutely crazy. Look at that. But if you zoom out on Ton, you realize we still have a lot higher. We're only at 250 right now. That's 250. We still have like $8 is the all-time high. Maybe I marked this off. Maybe I marked this off for us. Yeah, let's mark this off real quick as the all-time high. Boom. But yeah, Ton is actually going crazy, but the upside is actually still pretty good. Pamadiji, what I'm going to watch for here is a pullback on Ton. Obviously, it's gone up basically in a straight line from low to high, 132%. So this is probably one of the cleaner ranges. This FEG right here is what I'm going to be looking for. And maybe I actually show the line here. And then maybe I do something like this. Yeah, so that is this is the line right here. Bring to front, boom. So this fair value gap right here is exactly what I'm watching out for on Ton. I think it looks really good, man. I mean, it looks really good. The price action looks really well. But again, lining up with the Bitcoin pullback, if we get the Bitcoin pullback, this is going to be where the massive entries show themselves, because you guys know I call out what's called discovery candles on chain a lot. And discovery candles are exactly what it sounds like. It's a candle that allows the market to discover the token. And basically the discovery candle in my mind is it is a signal that's being sent to the market to say, hey, traders are here, they're willing to trade this. And so when you get that discovery candle, a couple things could happen. Discovery candles could just keep going, right? Bull flag and just keep going up. That's one thing that could happen. Another thing that could happen is it could kind of range sideways, right? Like, and that's also kind of like a bull flag before popping up. So let's call that the first bull flag. It could bull flag and keep going. So we'll watch for that scenario. Another scenario is it could trade lower before going higher, right? And that's where we look to enter right here. Or the other scenario is, all right, that's it, pump's gone, right? So or it could even like form like a range, but I think that kind of goes with our second scenario of it kind of like boom boom going, like doing something like that. So I'm looking for that second scenario. I mean, the bull flag scenario definitely could happen. Definitely could happen. The fundamentals are there. The push from the TON CEO is there. So yeah, there's a lot happening. I believe if you look on Telegram, you know, you should see that the CEO of Telegram, his channel is like being pushed on Telegram right now, and all he's talking about is the TON blockchain. Literally, that's all he's talking about. So yeah. So yeah, TON looks really good. I'll be eyeing that particular scenario, the number 2. I saw now he pinned wallet in the search bar. Really, I didn't notice that. Maybe I got to take a look myself. But that's the plan here for TON. If we get the pullback on Bitcoin, I would love to see if we can get down to this FVG level here. So I'd love to see us kind of get to this level here. That's my area of interest. Number 1. Number 2 would be the bull flag, and I'll get in for a long. But I honestly, guys, honestly, I'm starting to question, what are you guys holding? Actually, let me ask you that. What are you guys holding? Anything? You know, I know a lot of you guys interested in TON, Hype, MET, VVV. What are you guys holding right now? Like, what are you guys looking into? And see the Telegram update for today. Super bullish for AI on Telegram. Really? Whoa. Where do I see that, Pamadiji? Did they post that on on their Twitter? Or let me know. Let me know. That's actually nuts. That's crazy. Crypto G369, you guys are the best crypto show and nobody is here. I don't get it. You guys should host crypto spaces or Discord where we could chop it up. First off, Crypto G369, thank you so much for the kind words, man. Like, really do appreciate it. We try our best to, like, you know, just come on and deliver as much value as we can. We're like literally trading these markets alongside you guys. So we just want to bring forth some of the best information, and, you know, try to do our best to deliver value to you guys. So glad that, you know, that's being received to some extent from your side, and, you know, appreciate you, man. That literally means a lot. Thank you so much for the high praise. All right, you said you guys should host crypto spaces or Discord where we could chop it up. That's interesting. I would love to do a Discord. The thing is, the management of the Discord is the part where we're trying to figure out, because it takes a lot of time to kind of keep up with everything happening in the market, I gotta look at all of these charts, like, before stream, make sure I'm like, keeping up with things. Even now, like in my Telegram and stuff, like I'm starting to get the sense that I'm kind of falling behind the more fast-paced part of the market. So I might even have to adjust my trading a little bit to accommodate for the show. So, I'm still trying to figure that side out, figure out that side of things. So we'll see, but I really appreciate it, man. Bro, I'm just speaking facts. You guys always have high quality micro caps, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Let's see. So that's the plan on TON. I'll check out the TON update for AI, for the AI component. We talked about Met. Nothing really to update on hype. Still looking very strong, holding up really well. Oh my goodness. Zek is not playing around. There's literally no pullback. It's just up only. So this now qualifies as the most recent swing high. Actually no. Let me not. I have to wait. The 2-week closes in 2 days. So let's wait for 2 days. And if it closes, let's see actually. Yeah, we could see a new swing high here forming on Zek, but holy moly, look at this chart. My goodness. Yes, crazy. All right, next one here, Pengu. Pengu's still just kind of stalling out here in the middle of nowhere. I would love to see it kind of pull back a little bit. Maybe pull back here, kind of test some of these levels before going higher. That's where I'd love to see. That's what I'd love to see Pengu do. But I'm waiting. I'll wait for that to decide on its own direction. We talked about VVV as well, but just another look at it. Holy moly, that thing looks so good. Other than that, let's look at your token, Crypto Jones CC Canton. Let's look at Canton. Let's put that on the list to watch, and we'll even put it at the top of that watch list because CCC. Okay. I would love to see a little bit more reaction from it here, Crypto Jones. I don't know, maybe not a lot of people are watching it, but I'd love to see a little bit more reaction, especially in such a good market. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. So here's a nice little buy zone there that I'll draw out for Canto. I would much love for it to kind of come back cleanly into this zone before going a little higher. But let's do this. When you look at something like Sui, right? Like look at Sui in the last couple of days, it's actually doing well. It's actually starting to pump a little bit. And I also have to pull up Ondo. Let me put on. Oh, I actually did pull up Ondo, so we'll look at that one next. But when you look at Sui, kind of these are some of the levels to watch. You have this here, you have that, but then you also have this this order block. Let me see. Actually, we can just. That's actually the resistance level right there. It's actually the resistance level right there. We're good. We drew that out perfectly. And this is the recent swing high. I'll put it right here. That's a more obvious one. And then the recent swing low here. Bang. All right, cool. So you see here on Sui, like Sui is not like a blockchain that's being used heavily. It's not being used nowhere near how much Solana is being used, but you see the reaction. It's actually starting to pump. People are still buying it or whatever. Looking at the same thing, you think it's going to be a big winner? Okay, I'll keep my eyes on it then. I'll keep my eye on it. I'll keep it on the watch list, and we'll track it together. But you see, like in the last couple of days, Sui pumped. This isn't pumping at all. Like there's like no reaction from the market. If anything, it's losing momentum, right? So not sure if what kind of signal that is. Not sure if people just aren't paying attention, because I know the market is asleep on a lot of things. But yeah. Let's see what else. Filecoin actually is crazy. Filecoin is up a lot from these levels. And I drew out this order block some time ago, because this was let me see, I think this was a 3-day. Yes, this was a 3-day OB. But when you look at Filecoin, it's in this like massive like falling wedge. So it's actually kind of crazy what's happening with Filecoin right now. But yeah, massive falling wedge here. So important to kind of keep in mind. But as soon as we flip this area, that's kind of where, because again, falling wedges usually lead to massive breakouts. And so when I go down on and I zoom in more towards the apex here, I want to see this breakout and retest, and then go right, like and then go higher. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see for Filecoin. Like I want, and then I'd look to get involved here. That's where I look to get involved on the retest. You see, I don't need to. Daddy Duster, Top Fumbler, GM to you guys, man. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys tuning in on a Friday early afternoon. Hope the week's been treating you guys well on chain. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't need, especially when it comes to majors. Majors are going to run. They are going to pump. Everything will pump. So I don't need to like catch the first move. Like this right here is nothing. That's not like, okay, if I were to miss that move waiting for markets to turn bullish, it's nothing. But when you zoom out here, that's what, $1.70. We still, the all-time high on this thing is, look. I mean, dude, look at that. Holy moly. I mean, going back to 2021, there's a ton more liquidity in the market, but we still, like, let's call 240 the all-time high, or 239 the all-time high. So we're at $1 something, and we still have to make our way to hundreds of dollars. So between now and then, setups will be plentiful. Setups will come and they'll go. And then too, like, we still have, some questions with Bitcoin as well. So there's going to be ebbs and flows. So I don't need to capture like the exact move that it reverses from a downtrend to an uptrend. When things are in an uptrend, now I have a bullish bias, and now I can go after things, with a little bit more aggressively when things are confirmed to be bullish, right? So that's what that's my thinking there. All right, let's see. So that's majors, guys. That's majors. Let's go on chain a little bit here. It's under the radar, but all the big players from the banking sector are working with them. Founder has stated it will act more like equity. Interesting. Okay, so I'll keep that on the watch list then. I'll keep it on the watch list and watch for when it turns bullish. Speaking of turning bullish, holy Ondo. Ondo is looking really, really well. Actually, I might have to start trading this. Pendle too, I think they have a few catalysts. Interesting. Do I have Pendle here? I don't believe so. Let's see. Boom, boom. Pendle. All right, cool. I got Pendle now. So there's a couple things that I have to move to the top of the list now. Pendle, I have to move Filecoin up. I have to move XRP up, but that can go behind Pendle and the others. I have to move Jupe. Oh my God, I gotta move Jupe up. Holy moly. But as you guys can see, man, it just takes a lot of time to like go through all these charts. So sometimes trading on chain can be like a little, can kind of fall behind a little bit. And when I say trade, I mean like keeping up with the absolute up to the minute side of things. So that's why like, a Discord. All right. Pamadiji, would you be open to being a mod in the Discord? That would be my question. Will you be open to being a mod in the Discord? So overall, I think this chart on Pendle says something very, very important. So I'm gonna bring out the I gotta get clips. I gotta get clips for the stream. So Clipper Chill is active here. 105.40. All right, guys. So the Ondo chart tells us something very, very important. And actually, it actually kind of shows that the mindset that I have when I look at charts and how I can kind of be more careful when my bias is shifting. As you can see, this is the weekly chart on Ondo. We have a swing high all the way up here. And we could even say a swing high could be here even, but that's definitely a level to break here. But you basically have this Ondo chart, you have the swing high, and it's been down only since the top of 2025. And so it's made its last higher high, and it's been making lower highs there. This was an overall lower high here. So what would happen here is I'm looking for this to make a lower high and then eventually a higher high, and this would signify a change in structure, right? Going from downtrend to uptrend, right? Going from downtrend to uptrend. So that's what I'm looking for in like when I trade, especially when I trade these charts. You don't need to be the first person in on this very bottom candle. What will happen is this chart will go up, it'll make a lower high, but perhaps it makes a higher low, and that higher low would happen on perhaps a lower time frame. So on the high time frame structure, I realized, wow, okay, buyers are starting to step in. I don't need to be a buyer down here, and I'm talking about from a perps trading and active trading perspective. I just want to see where does this make a lower high, or potentially does this go and make a higher high? But it's that change in structure where I'm like, okay, that's confirmation. And a lot of times that change in structure would, not a lot of times, every time that change in structure would first show up on these lower time frames, right? Like on the daily. So what I would want to do is monitor, some of these lower levels, like this right here. This right here is the last swing high on the daily. This is the swing low. And so a change in this would be a market structure shift if this breaks this high, right? So I will want to see this, or this will be a market structure break, I should say. So I will want to see this chart break above 45 cents. And after it makes, perhaps it pauses, perhaps it takes a pause over here. It travels up, but then it comes down to make a low, a higher low before going higher, right? And this is the shorter term time frame that I'm looking for an overall change in structure, because now that can lead to a lot higher prices, and it's much easier to trade these longs, because I like to trade from a perps perspective. I like to trade on the long side, not really the short side a lot, unless there's like an obvious trade. But from a long perspective, it's much easier to trade these longs. You don't need to be the first candle in. You don't need to be the first buyer in. You can always just wait for a larger change in structure and to play out. So that way, you're giving your longs an even better chance at being successful. So that's what this like higher time frame Ondo chart really exemplifies, is my overall trading strategy and how I look at markets. I look at it from a high time frame point of view. When I see a pump like this, I note that there's going to be a change in structure. I then go down to the lower time frames, identify a key range that it's been in for several months, and then when it breaks that range and makes a higher low, then, you know, that's a confirmation of at least an uptrend happening. And so this is happening with altcoins, with a lot of the majors, which is why we're spending so much time today on majors, because we see that, like, while Bitcoin it hasn't really broken above 80K. It's still at 80K, the same place it was at on Monday. But we see that the sentiment in the market is pushing these coins higher. And so that's making me kind of a lot less bearish, because I thought that last flush to sub 60K on Bitcoin would essentially be the ultimate bottom for alts. But we're seeing the ultimate bottom already kind of be put in. And this next pullback on Bitcoin, to me, will be all of these charts exploring a higher low on these time frames. And then this higher low is where we smash longs, where we smash entries. We see what's pumping. These discovery candles are helping us to acknowledge what the heck these markets want to buy. And now that we've identified what they want to buy off the pullback, we can just target some clean setups with clear invalidation on the perp side. And so yeah. You wanted me to take a look at Pendle as well. Let's take a quick look at Pendle, and then we can dip. And then we can dip. Ooh, boy. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. So just off rip, what I notice here on the daily is this FVG right here. This FVG on the daily acted as resistance many times. But let's start from a high time frame. All right, Pendle on the monthly, we have our monthly swing high here. We have our monthly swing low here. Boom. So that's the full-on range there for Pendle that we'll operate in. And then going down on the weekly, you see we're getting a nice pump. Again, discovery candles. This kind of signaling to the market that there are buyers out here willing to buy, and this is kind of the bottom that we're looking to put in. As we go into lower time frames, same thing as I was mentioning. We have this daily structure here. I would even say on the daily, it's kind of the level to beat here on the daily. But as you can see, resistance, 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 resistance here, but it consolidated and finally starting to push above that level. And I think that's why it's doing it in such a powerful way. Spent some time consolidating below resistance. So looking really good on Pendle, actually looking really good. That's like up like a smooth 100 and something percent, 110, 120%, something like that off the bottom. So this is one that I don't know if we get a pullback. Maybe we don't, because it's like very explosive price action. But when we do, we'll just mark out some levels to see, to see where we can get involved. But that's Pendle. Crypto Jones, I think that's the advantage of DLMM one-sided quote token. You don't have to time the market. You can sit back in positions you're bullish on. Yeah, absolutely. That is a really good. I've maybe taken the wrong approach to DLMMing here. Not the wrong approach, I should say a different approach to DLMMing here, Crypto Jones, because for me, I was kind of using it to amplify my gains on chain with some of these like lower caps. And I was doing well. The thing though, that your strategy and your use of DLMMing is actually pretty interesting, and I think it's something that I would probably want to include a little bit more in the strategy. Instead of just going for new pairs with high volume, I can go for established pairs at decent levels, whether they they grind and consolidate, whether they pull back ultimately. And either way, those moves kind of take more time. You can accumulate more fees, and it's a slower move up, but it's still a move up nonetheless, right? In terms of your portfolio size. So yeah, no, I think that's a great idea to DLMM and like use your profits to DCA Bitcoin. I think that's a really good strategy. For me, I've always just kind of traded and then use profits to allocate to, you know, long-term positions. Are you still in the camp of sell in May and go away? Yeah, I think so. Yep, I think I am in that camp. Sell in May and go away. Maybe in May, you know, we have maybe in May we have a bit of a pump. You know, maybe we still have some juice left in the tank. You know, who really knows? We've spent an entire, basically an entire week hovering around 80K. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin here. I would love for it to explore a higher low. I would love this. I would, but my base case is us going all the way back down to this sub 60K level there. That's still my base case. So yeah, I would love for Bitcoin to go higher. Ooh, wait, man, dude, markets they're just pumping like crazy, man. Look at that on Solana. So we're finally getting the peak above $90. Dude, I'm telling you, man, everybody heard that MCG was going live and they decided to pump markets. S&P at an all-time high, at a fresh all-time high, literally as we went live. And now we have a lot of these alts kind of popping off. Now, I'm going to be watching Solana very, very closely here. Very closely here. In fact, I should have been watching after this SFP right here on Solana. But if we're being honest, this SFP also played out to the top side, on the top side as well. So maybe not that obvious, but breaking through a lot of resistance. And so same as before, going to be looking to turn this level into an area of support. And then I'll be looking to get long in that area. So yeah. Palmadiji, thanks, Chill. Appreciate it. You said I wouldn't mind joining the Discord and tracking coins, markets. Pretty interesting at the moment. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's definitely we have a Telegram channel. It's definitely something we want to explore. And I honestly want to get more off stream time with you guys, like, you know, us just kind of like hunting stuff together. You know, I feel like it's easy, or it's not easy to keep track of everything on your own, especially when you have to like look at like, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 different charts every single day. But when you have multiple people, like a community of people together looking at different charts, whether it's, you know, majors on a high time frame, you know, looking for perp entries or looking for stuff to bid or whatever, or even like on-chain alpha, like a bunch of us just saying researching this project, researching that project and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to explore and want to find out how we can do that a little bit more. Definitely. All right, cool. Crypto Jones, I'm still playing memes with high volume, but it's definitely more risky. Yeah, absolutely more risky. Absolutely more risky. But you know, as they say, high risk, high reward, right? High risk, high reward. Okay. So now let's kind of pivot to some on-chain. Let's talk about some on-chain charts. Shall we? All right. Let's see here. Oh boy. Look at PayAI. I told you guys, golden pocket. Drew this out yesterday as we were talking about it. This is a really great place to buy PayAI, not gonna lie. You know, here around the 5.5, just basically under 6 mil. Just under 6 mil. Let's look at the 4 hour. Let's see how, man, look at that, man. Clean golden pocket retest. You guys might think that I'm weird or might think I'm too much of a chartist for doing all these fibs and drawing all these lines, but I try to keep things simple. And here I go with another Here I go with another clip. So let's try to get this one. Let's try to get this one and make it good. Let's make this clip good, guys. Okay. So the PayAI chart is a really good example of how fibs can help you to time your entries. I like to use the 618. This golden pocket area is what is commonly referred to with these fib levels. These fib levels. Can I speak English? Yes, I can. Hopefully, 0.786 is a key retracement level, and then the 886 is a new addition, mostly for on-chain meme coins because of their volatile nature. But you draw the fib from a swing low to a swing high, and then at this retracement level, this golden pocket typically is the key place to look for in bullish conditions. That's what I like to do anyway. And as you can see, PayAI bounced right off of that, man. But here's what I like to do. I like to start out with very simple TA, support and resistance. I don't like to do like RSI, moving averages. That to me, that gets a little bit too confusing. So I like to keep things very simple. I do use support and resistance to start out with. I use fibs if I'm looking at timing entries, and then I also try to use the order blocks as well. Not fair value gaps, but like order blocks, like for the pivot strategy, the pivot entry strategy that we discussed yesterday. So that's kind of stuff that I like to look for, but PayAI is a perfect example of that. You basically have, and then I also like to use trend lines as well. Support, resistance, trend lines, and then you have your fibs and your order blocks. That's what I like to use. I try to keep things as simple as I can. So that way it's not just a bunch of noise when you're trying to do your TA. It's something you can go in, be relatively quick, and then you can execute. But yeah, PayAI, absolutely monstrous protocol. Let's see here. Anything else looking good? Anything else looking good? We talked about the Kodak move. Kodak pumping a lot off the bottom. Looks like they have some things in the works as well. I believe there's a catalyst that they have. There's going to be a release of some piece of their technology here coming up soon. I'll probably end up posting about it later on today, so look out for that post. But very explosive move here. Looks absolutely amazing. What else? We did talk about base a little bit earlier, I believe. We saw that VVV earlier was pumping to new all-time highs. This one was like a call out in the TG at 900K. I actually took a lot of profit off the table, like up here. Or not, it was more like right here, like 3.5, somewhere like 3.5. And it looks like it's back. It's pumping again. But it's really good beta to VVV. So this is an AI agent, and it looks like in the VVV Discord, looks like they actually created a section for the CyberRen AI agent. So just something to be aware of. Good coin to watch for pullbacks. What else? We have Serve was doing really good. I posted about that just a little bit ago. Let's see, we have SR, Strike Robot. I believe this, like, robotics has been, kind of gaining a lot of mind share recently, and I believe this SR had like a partner. Was it a partnership with VVV, I believe? And so this is kind of acting as beta, if you will, but in their own right, they're a really good project themselves, from what I hear. But this kind of gives you a little bit of some context. What else? Land is still holding. Let's go to our meme coins. Pamadiji, for sure. Let's do that. Tracking hella coins. alone is really too much. Yeah, it really is, man. It really is. It can be a lot. So we have we quick update on what the dog doing. We had that peak above this resistance, still back in the range. But honestly, this is one of the ones that I'd accumulate. I know that, so earlier we mentioned that our accumulation for the summer would be Met, right? The Met token. MetaDAO is another one. We mentioned Umbra as well because it's privacy, key narrative, right? And then I think what the dog doing would be one of my meme coins here that I don't know if I'd accumulate it summer long, but one of the ones, one of my top memes here that I'd continue to look at. Let's see, we have 6-7 here as well. Looks like I had the fibs drawn out on my trading terminal, but it looks like I didn't draw out the fib here. But clean, very, very clean retest of our market structure break. Again, this is going from charts on meme coins. And here I go with another clip. 120, 126, 15. All right. So this is what the dog, this 6-7 chart is actually very interesting. It shows you exactly what happens with meme coins that tend to do really well long term. This is the 3-day look at the 6-7 token. Keep in mind the quote unquote fundamentals with this meme coin is actually pretty good. Apparently, the coin is associated directly with the 6-7 kid that created the meme. So from a fundamental side, if memes can have fundamentals, it's looking really good there. It has cultural value, right? It has some sort of cultural presence there, and so that's in the token. That's in the token as well, right? If we want to say vibes can be a part of a token, but that's a part of the fundamentals. It's associated with the creator of the 6-7 meme. And you saw this thing went from 0 to 100 real quick. It went up. Let's do from this swing low to that swing high. It went up over 3,000%, probably a little bit more than that. So this goes absolutely ballistic, and then it goes minus 90%, right? So that's what this 6-7 chart really teaches me. This 6-7 chart shows exactly what happens to meme coins that tend to do well. They go up a lot. This one went up over 3,000%. Now we're down over 90%. And when you look down to lower time frames, you actually begin to understand that these things can come back to life, because now it went minus 90% and it went into accumulation zone, and now it's popping back up. And that's exactly what happens with a lot of these tokens, right? They go up a lot, they grind up, they come down, and then they accumulate for a while, and the chart looks dead. But then lo and behold, bang, it starts to pop up. And this is where you want to get involved, because now it could lead to that, right? And then it could lead to much, much higher prices. And you can look to a lot of other meme coins. They've done exactly the same thing. And that's exactly what 6-7 looks like it's about to do. It has now accumulated for basically, most of 2026. It's been in this accumulation zone, and now it's breaking out. And this accumulation area here, it allows for good holder distribution. Good, healthy, clean distribution. It's popped up above the level. It's now retesting it. And I believe this is probably going a lot higher. So just a setup there for you guys to be aware of. All right. That was what the dog doing, 6-7. Yesterday we talked about peptides as well. This is actually popping out of the top. As you can see, I drew a line out yesterday, so this is popping out of the top side here. And actually, I want to say that's up like 2x from where, yeah, had a 2x pump from where we talked about it yesterday. So very clean. Anything on bags that I like, holy moly, Crypto Jones. I do not trade on bags, unfortunately. There's actually a TG sticker that says it's a screenshot of a CA, the last couple letters of the CA, and it says bags. And then the message right after the screenshot says, what do you think I am, retarded? And literally, when you asked me if I like anything on bags, that was the question that popped up based on that sticker. What do you think I am, retarded? No, I don't like anything on bags right now. I mean, I noticed, I know that there's like a charity coin meta going on right now. A lot of people like that. But I'm good. I'm good on bags right now. If I see volume metrics change, if I see the market wants to move in the bags direction, for sure. But I'm a late early kind of guy. Let's say there's a chart, bang, discovery candle here. Everyone's like, holy crap, this thing is going to crazy price action. I wait all the way until it comes down right back to these levels here. So I might not get in early when it launches. I might miss the first pump of a meta, but my goal is to get in on the retracement, the first retracement of a narrative forming. And with that, I'm allowed more time to spot assets. What's the runner? What's the market interested in? What's the narrative forming around it? And then I can come in and look at every chart and see the setups that I like. Whereas when you get in on launch, it's really like you got to be very, very quick with your decision making. And that's just not my particular style. Another clip there for the homies, I believe. Let's think that one was at 130.45. Awesome. But yeah, no particular FUD there, Crypto Jones, no particular FUD on bags. I just personally I like to trade in ecosystems that, I'm trying to word this carefully since I'm on stream. I like to trade in ecosystems that give me a natural better chance, right? Like trading is already hard, right? Like trading, there's a ton of assets to choose from. There's a ton of ecosystems to choose from. And it's already harder to choose what tokens to buy, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for an ecosystem, a launch pad that kind of gives me a better chance, or at least look at something, have some sort of filter as to give me a better chance at finding, better assets. And right now, like with my current filters, nothing on bag is nothing on bags is really keeping catching my eye like that. So yeah, I'm not really paying attention to any bags tokens right now. No FUD though. Definitely they could come back and integrate Bedrock or come out with something different to really help them a lot. Outside of that, Triple T, new highs. Holy moly, look at that thing. Looking for a pullback there. Doubt I'll get it though. Buckcoin, doing really well off of the pivot. We identified the pivot entry on the 3-day. So nice little pivot entry here, and looks like we're leaving the buy zone, looking very nice on Buckcoin. And then the test token, because I'm not going to say this name on stream, but revisit the pivot point here on the chart, and also leaving the zone. So looking really good there. Man, these pivot entries, they really do work for whatever reason. I can't really explain it. It's more based on my because I do ICT trading for to help me with my perps. And it's kind of like trying to incorporate some of that methodology in my trading. That's kind of helped me a lot to see some of these patterns for entries looking really good. Another one that I wanted to point out with you guys was this token called, God, I hate to say this name on here, but it's based on the virus, the recent virus that came. Now, I'm not a fan of making light of this virus, but I'll say this. In the same way that, prediction markets, people are speculating on real world events like the war and stuff like that. In the same way that people make money there, meme coin wise, you can also make money here by trading tokens that are centered around some of these larger events. And in my opinion, people are all, because it's called like I forgot what was the name of it, because I only know it as the hentai virus. Hentai virus. Let me just search this up real quick. Holy moly. But it's called the Hanta virus, and people are kind of like memifying it themselves, right? By saying hentai instead of Hanta. And we've seen that like happen. Like if you let me show my screen real quick. This puts it much better than I can. You see that? 1 million impressions, 7.5 million impressions. So that was the birth of this kind of meme. That was the birth of this kind of meme here. And so that's why I kind of been looking at this. I actually kind of got in here at some of these lower levels. 0.786 was my level. Well, it was like 865. Yeah, around there. Yeah, around there. Around the 0.786 was when I got in. But if you're in the TG, you also got it. Yeah, Hanta. But obviously something that's going to accrue in mind share, and looks like the world has already come up with their own kind of joke around the virus anyway. So basically CT is memifying it in a way. So I kind of like this where it's actually looking to break out here. And I told you guys, I'm going to be doing a little bit more meme coin trading. And I'm also doing a 2 soul challenge. I'm sorry, I'm doing I'm doing a 2 soul challenge. So I'll be starting to trade on chain a little bit more actively. We've been ramping up over these last couple of weeks. We were really active around printer, really active doing DLMMing and things of that nature. But I think this is a more like market-wide move up. Like we see majors are pumping, on chain is coming. Like even the homie Killua, he even mentioned like Elon is coming out, pushing memes. Elon and a few others, Michael Saylor and a few others. Like a lot of these guys there's a lot of like memifiable stuff happening in the world right now. This is the tweet here where Killua says, Binance, they were shilling USDUC. Alan, he shilled the hantavirus token. Elon, he's shilling, Troll and Bernie. So we're seeing like these memifiable moments happening within the last couple of days, within the last week, and it's just it's creating opportunity on chains. I'm not going to ignore that. I'm going to pay close attention. If anything, like I'm going to increase the amount of time that I trade. So that's why I'm starting this 2 soul challenge here, so I can see what I can see, how much we can run it up from absolutely zero. And personally, I've always had the goal of running up a portfolio. I've done that before. Last cycle, I ran up my other portfolio. I did that. I ran that to 6 figures, but I didn't run it from zero. I ran it up from like I think I had like 8,000, something like that at first, and then I ran that up to several 100,000, like 5 or 600,000, something like that. So had a really good turnout last cycle, but I want to do the one soul dream, right? Like I want to do that. So that's why I'm starting this one soul challenge, and it's a really good way of testing my own skills, my own trading skills as well, so that I know how to operate. I want to be a self-sufficient trader. I don't want to have to rely on anyone's calls or anyone's input for me to be able to run up a portfolio. I want to do it all by myself, and I want to do it from absolutely nothing. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. 2 soul challenge here. So we'll see how that plays out for me. Okay. But that's the meme there. Let's see what else we got. I think that's it for the Solana memes. Yeah. Bag tokens are a DLMM cheat code. Oh, no way. I wish I knew. I might see if I can tell you that. Then I'll check that out. This is the main Hanta token. Again, not as memeable as the other one, but it's the one that Alan referred to. And as you can see, like, it had this massive pump here. The speculation is that Pump Fund will crime this one up, but it's great. Like, I don't like that. Thesis. This will crime stuff up. I don't know. Yeah. Crypto Jones, that's crazy. 100x gains in a cycle. Congrats. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. ETH memes. We talked about this yesterday. Going to the top of the range. SPCX, SpaceX, the meme based on the SpaceX IPO. That's looking good. This as well is looking good. Still consolidating. AIB. This is the one where I was telling you guys about yesterday that, basically Trump, he's just pushing a new slogan. And he wants to, he wants to switch his slogan from, make America great again to America is back. And so this new meme has been born. And I think he even came out and said something as well in a press conference or something like that. Let me see if I can find that for you guys real quick. No, I can't find that right now. But he actually came out and said that hats and stuff are coming for the new slogan. So there's that. Other than that, another one that I'll be watching, and this one can go on the list. Asteroid. I'm willing to bet that this goes to a build plus. I'm willing to bet that this is the next $1 billion token on Ethereum. Yep. You heard it here first. And just for the clip, I'll repeat that. I think that Asteroid is going to be the next $1 billion token on Ethereum. If you don't know the story behind Asteroid, basically there's a little girl that passed away due to cancer or something like that, I believe. And one of her goals was to, I believe, was it meet Elon or something like that? And basically, she passed away without that happening, but she left a list of things. And one of the lists was that this asteroid, which is the asteroid, there's an asteroid teddy bear, essentially, would be the mascot for the SpaceX launch. And I think the name of it was Asteroid. Now, this token, it's been vamped. People have been trying to, launch stuff. People have been trying to launch stuff on other platforms to kind of take liquidity away. But man, I guess some of these ETH holders are they're different, man. They don't run And this hasn't even pulled back to the golden pocket yet. And this is off of a 1,000% move, I believe, probably even a little bit more than that. This has pumped so far 8,500%. And so I think this is one that I'll be stacking if we have, you know, a sell and may go away type of situation over the summer. But yeah, next billion-dollar token. Another one here on ETH. I don't know why. Clutch is, I love this chart for whatever reason, man. This chart looks absolutely amazing. It's holding the 0.88, the 0.886 level, the new fib level that we're testing out for our meme coins. It's sort of the last line of defense, and it's been holding this level really good, really, really good. It's the mascot for the World Cup. So you know, take that for what you will, but you know, price action on that looks really good. Other than that, I believe that's it, guys. I think that's it. We went through a lot during the stream today. We went through some memes, we went through some thesis changes, some realizations we've had around things like ownership and equity backed. We went through some of my strategies, you know, how I'm approaching things. So there's a lot here that we've gone through over the course of this stream. If there's anything else you guys want me to mention or talk about or ask about, let me know. Crypto Jones, you said the UFO memes are a hot narrative right now. Not sure what the catalyst was. Oh yeah, so they're yeah, I'll tell you what that's all about. Let me go on Twitter real quick. I'll just search alien and you'll see it pop up right at the top. U.S. Department of War, war.gov/UFO. Department of War releases unidentified anomalous phenomena files in historic transparency effort. 13 million views. Department of War releases UFO and potential alien life files. 1.7 million views. Binance CZ says Elon Musk is an alien. That's crazy. He just said that like 11 minutes ago. That's insane. Oh, wait, hold on. That's insane. There's a token about that. I was wondering what that was. Hold on. Pause everything. Pause everything. Let me see. Because there was like an Elon alien token or something. Alien Elon. I wonder. Anywho, I'll look at that later. I'll check that out later. I thought there was like some other thing on some other meme coin on that, but that's what's driving the narrative. Elion is the token. All right, let's check it out real quick then. Alien. That's actually a pretty nice ticker. I'm not even gonna lie. Holy crap. Yo, look at this. Holy moly. Oh my goodness. What a freaking chart, man. What a freaking chart. All right. I don't know what the heck. But yeah, alien. This is crazy. But yeah, that's what's driving this price action here, with UFOs, with the like the whole UFO alien narrative that you're seeing on chain, and it looks like literally everyone is picking up on this. Fox, you know, all the major news outlets, they're all picking up on this, and that's why you see like this token has gone up. Alien has gone up from 14K market cap, holy crap, all the way to 4.42K, 3,000% move. Holy crap. I'm not a buyer up here. I'll wait for the pullback. Let's see if this actually sustains a run. I'd say let's take it like that. If this actually, and here's the thing though, you know, buying the dips on some of these, you kind of have to be careful because You don't know if the narrative is going to die alongside the. You don't know if the narrative is going to die alongside the pullback, right? Like Darth Inferno, I think you were actually in the TG and you were talking a little bit about that, like, how now that I'm getting into, whatchamacallit, the hentai token, the hantavirus token, we're all moving on. The on-chain was moving on to UFO and UFOs and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess that's a little bit, of why it's been hard to like keep up with the market while streaming and stuff. But I think also it exemplifies the kind of the test of conviction that these pullbacks have. So like, the hantavirus stuff, that's all pulling back now that the alien narrative is going on. But as that narrative cools off, could we see a rotation back into the hantavirus tokens? Because that's going to be a pretty big topic of discussion. And I think the alien stuff is, I don't want to say that out loud, actually. I don't want to say that, but I'll say this. I think the alien stuff is going to be a news cycle. It's going to run for a news cycle, but I don't know if it depends on what comes out of it. But I don't know if, people actually, are they actually going to look into the documents, or stuff going to actually come up? Or people going to actually say that Elon is an alien? Like what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But yeah, I think there's even another token as well that a lot of people are looking at. Make aliens great again. This one. Okay, so this is actually still consolidating. Interesting that didn't that wouldn't pump alongside. Interesting. All right, let's look at one more. There also is another alien token. Let's see. Actually, I think that's it. I think that's all the ones that I would look at anyway, at least for now. But man, look at that pump. Holy moly, that thing looks good. All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Man, I think our music turned off and everything, huh? Let's go ahead and all right. So that's pretty much it. So we went through a lot today, guys. Any other questions, tickers you guys wanted to look at? I'm down for whatever. Crypto Jones, you said Easy A takeaways. I think Easy A is a really nice platform. Definitely going to be watching them. There's a select few projects that are coming out of that. I see that they have a lot of younger builders as well, but not a huge takeaway. It's actually a question that I'd have for Josh and Dom when they get back, because they were working like really closely with those guys. They were able to see everything, up close and personal. When we starting One Soul Challenge, sir? I actually already started it, Pamadiji. Yeah, I actually already started it. I started it yesterday. I just kind of like, was just like, whatever. And just did it off the cuff, because again, man, the vibes are like, this is giving longevity. This is giving that it can actually last longer than 2 days. The only thing you have to do is just kind of keep up with the rotation narrative. But what I like to do is stay, I don't mind being late is like I was telling you guys earlier, like I don't mind getting in on the first major pullback. I can do that. And I think that would hurt if you're in this like quick rotation market where the first pullback is actually where that narrative is dying. What I'm saying now is I think some of these narratives have longevity, depending on which ones you're bidding. And the ones we're talking about, I think those would actually do really well. Man, look at ISO, huh? ISO, we talked about this yesterday on a nice little pump up here. Going to be looking at this one, I think, and I'll also dig into this one a little bit more as well. But I'll see if we do get any if we get a larger pullback. Let me actually pull this up on the 3-day real quick. Let me see. So we have a potential pivot here, but I think that might be too low. When you have, tailwinds like this, I think you can't look for too deep of a pullback. So obviously, if it goes down there, that would be a really good place. 100K would be a really good spot for me. But again, I like to start with support and resistance, then look at fibs, then look at trend lines and everything else. And right now we're headed to the top of the range. So maybe we get another shot under 200K. Let's see. By the way, where to join for Discord? Pamadiji, let me get back to you on the Discord. I'd have to get with the boys, and we'd have to make like an MCG Discord, and likely I'll probably have to be the one to run that one, because I can't. I don't think Josh and Dom can handle anything else. They're doing quite a bit already. I mean, we all are, and I think that just kind of the Discord kind of rolls under my belt, right? Like, I really keep up with a lot of these trades and a lot of these moves. We talk about charts and stuff all the time. So I would probably be, I would want for me to run that. So, that way we can monitor everything. But it's just, I think we just have to like be very careful about, who we let in and stuff like that. So just going to have to monitor that as best we can. But yes, I'll get back to you on that, Pamadiji, and likely I will drop the Discord live on stream. Okay, if there is a Discord that we make, I will drop it live on stream, and that's because I don't want to just like put it out so that anyone can join. I only want you guys to get in, right? Like I want it to be like the core people that actually watch our show. I want you guys to get in on the Discord. I don't want just like any old person to join up. So yeah, and what I'll do is I'll probably post a link. I'll open up a Discord, then I'll post a link under the stream while we stream, and then I'll delete it afterward. And so only you guys, the people that are live, actually get in. Because when you let too many people in, man, it's like, people start saying, they start fudding a lot. They start accusing you of different things. And it's just not the core audience that comes here and actually knows what we're about. It's like somebody that maybe is watching the stream for the first time and is, maybe they've been rugged by other KOLs or other streamers, and they just, maybe they think that we're the same. But you guys that have watched us for a while, you guys that are in stream for a long time, you guys kind of know what we've been doing, our track record. And so we can have a different level of rapport than the new guys. So yeah, I'd love to do it, but I'll have to organize that one. So give me some time on that, Pamadiji. But would be really nice for the One Soul Challenge. Would be nice for the One Soul Challenge. Let me see here. All right, cool. Darth Infernal. Really never heard that one. His name has always been associated with UFO, UAP, secret cabals, though. Interesting. Pamadiji, okay, no worries. Let's do that. Would be nice to have a consolidated place for all of us. Yeah. It would be really nice. So I'll get with the boys. We'll talk about it, and then we'll run it from there. But guys, look, appreciate you guys joining the stream today. Again, if you have any other, tickers or anything like that you guys want us to take a look at before we go, let me know. But look at that, boy. Look at that price action on freaking Solana. Love to see it. But yeah, look, guys, appreciate your time. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Shout out to everybody that popped in the stream today, man. Shout out you guys. Daddy Duster, appreciate you. Have a great weekend as well. I could help mod the, oh bro, let's go. Yes, I would need a help. I would need help modding the Discord. I just don't want people like coming in and just like calling random stuff, right? Like I want people to come in and I want it to be organized. I would want there to be a general chat. I would want there to be like, just different chat for different things. And then one general chat just for all of us to vibe and, just come and chill and whatnot. So if you could help mod, oh, dude, yeah, that would be amazing. Appreciate you, Daddy Duster. Pamadiji, appreciate you joining up the stream. Darth Infernal, Crypto Jones, as always. Random shout out to a King's Mentality. I don't know if you're watching today, but appreciate you. Crypto G369, appreciate you as well. Thank you guys so much for jumping on stream today. Today was just kind of like chill. We're looking through charts. We're just talking about random stuff. And yeah, we just do it for the love of the game, man. You're very welcome, Crypto Jones. You're very much welcome. We hope that all of the information that we talk about here really provides value. We're not your normal stream. We don't just like shill random stuff. We walk you through the process. We walk you through the thesis, the strategy, the thinking behind what we do. So that way, like we can all win together. That's the goal. So yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate you going through the charts and all that. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hopefully we'll be able to do it soon together in Discord. But yeah, guys, look, appreciate you guys joining up. Thank you so much. And we will talk to you in the next one. See y'all on Monday. Last thing I'll say, oh yeah, I'm supposed to, last thing. I forgot to do this. I forgot to do this yesterday. Last thing, guys, follow the Twitter account at MCG Live. We'll be posting the schedule every single weekend, so you'll know who's coming on, and who knows, maybe when we open up that Discord, you guys can help us to join MC, help us to get more people on the show, projects that you like, people that you're interested in seeing, people that you're looking into as well. But yeah, definitely go back, follow the at MCG Live main Twitter account to stay fully up to date with everything. Appreciate y'all, love y'all, and see ya in the next one. Peace.